It's crazy. I think it was in the news. I was reading something about the number of evictions across the country that had to do with whether it's waters or people that just, all the stuff from COVID is.
Hey. Oh, they took it for court today. Sorry.
All right.
Another one.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and show Paula. It's 6:33 right now. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, and we'll go ahead and take care of roll call, please.
District 2, Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3, Alderman David Emery.
I'm here.
District 4, Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 1 and District 2, Alderman Miguel Aguirre and Matthew Martinez are absent.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Council. We're going to go ahead and move on to item number 4, and this is a presentation, discussion, and direction concerning budget of fiscal year 2024-2025 as a special meeting. Zach?
All right, Mayor and Council. So on the dais, I printed out most of them are the individual departments that we've already covered, but we did just have some updated physical activity numbers, so I wanted to present that for y'all. But we'll kind of go through it. Unfortunately, we're dealing with Robbie out at the well, so I'm going to cover the water and sewer for y'all this evening. And then we'll just kind of go in order from there, and I'll just kind of update you as we go through. So the first one on there in your packet on the dais was the water utility fund. Obviously, the revenues listed there, kind of what we were projecting out based on what we're seeing from especially increases in like impact fees and things like that. We're already exceeding what we had anticipated this budget season. So just kind of aligning some of those numbers to be a little bit more accurate, but not a huge change there. And then the moving into the expenses. So the one thing I will note, obviously, again, from the last conversation we had, all of the salaries and wages do include the 3%, as we had previously discussed. On water and sewer, you'll see a little bit bigger a jump, and the reason is because of us eliminating the gas. We do have to move some employees around from where they were being paid out of those accounts, and so what we've done is we've put 4 employees under water and 3 under sewer. Two of those, one in water and one in sewer, are currently open positions, but either way, we still want to reflect it, so that way if we were to obviously hire them, then we would want to make sure it's budgeted. So, but you can see the breakdown there. Obviously, just normal increases, based on health insurance, Social Security, those kind of things. From what was provided originally last night to today, I've kind of done some estimates on workers' comp and just a few more updates down on like uniforms and cleaning and things like that that weren't listed originally in there. Just kind of going through it. And of course, if there's any questions, yeah.
So one question, this is back on the revenues, on the water service fees. So we had a budget for 2024 as $1 million, right?
Yeah, 1,020,000 it looks like. Yeah, I think.
And so. then we're estimating $750,000 for next year.
Yeah, I think there's a mistake there.
Yeah, my current booking is 747,000. I think we put the, we were thinking current, but, based on that, it was going to be, we were going to 1.2.
So what is the proposed budget then for water service fees for 2024, 2025?
1.1.
1.1?
Yeah. 100. Right?
So
Right,
just,
right,
100 000.
okay. Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Just kind of going through, there's some minor changes, like we've talked about with a lot of departments, just increased costs of certain equipment and tools and things to be able to continue to do the job. We did increase by 15,000 the new meters line item. We're hoping to, we've asked Robbie to get everything. So 60,000 that's currently budgeted. We do believe we can get that expended this year. And then we're hoping to push a little bit more next year as we've freed up some of our big projects that we have. Hopefully they can start installing some additional meters out and about. Plus we have the new ones coming in with all the new homes going in as well. So that's where that increase is there. There's a big amount on the currently expended for office technology. But when we were noticing there, a lot of that should be reclassed because it was actually, for some reason, the server that we purchased got put there. So we just kind of need to move some numbers around on our back end to make sure that that's correct. So although it shows 11,300 almost.
So this was with the Tyler, right?
Yeah.
So it
yeah.
ties into the
So
utilities. So
yeah. So there's just some reclassing of numbers that needs to happen there and break down. Trying to stick to some of the bigger ones. So and I will say the two in yellow that you see. So one line item for insurance there. In yellow, we're actually looking to remove because that really should be under the workers' compensation insurance that's already there. So it's kind of in two places for some reason. So that would be something that would be removed. That's why it's in yellow like that. And then obviously we didn't budget anything under that line item if we're going to remove it. And then looking at, as we've talked about, establishing a true CIP budget, that transfer to water acquisition fund, we would remove that since there's two underwater, and the transfer to water impact would really become a transfer to the utility CIP going forward. And so that 131,000 is basically, and we'll have to adjust that water service fees like we talked about. So that'll change a little bit, but that would be what we're projecting based on excess revenues, and that would just be pushed to the utility CIP. So that's why a large number there.
So when did we get to see the adjusted numbers?
So I'll adjust the number. I can adjust that one fairly quickly and send that out to y'all. So are you talking about the service fees or
everything that we talked about?
Yeah, so these will be updated. I mean, the physical activity is fairly updated to last month. So we're continuing to obviously update those as we go along and new things are expended and everything. We'll update that proposed budget number on the water service fees. I can do that tonight and send that out. So.
Well, I'm not putting a time limit. I just want to know when we can see the updated spreadsheet.
Yeah,
With
well,
the
we can definitely get it out pretty quick.
So the salaries, can you explain that again? So because of the
So we had a couple employees
sales.
paid out of water, a couple employees paid out of the salaries and wages of the sewer, and we had an employee under gas paid out of. But obviously with the anticipated gas sale, we will not be able to pay that employee out of gas anymore because we won't have that particular
So
fund.
the employees are still in the same categories, they're just shuffled
Yeah,
around.
they're
as
shuffled
far as-
around a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Any questions, council? on that?
All right. So the next is the sewer, and I think there's a mistake there with the sewer fees as well, just like on the last one.
I think you put the actual,
Yeah.
like we're on that right now.
Yeah.
Figure two, that's my actual number. That wasn't what our proposed, so that should be 585. I mean, 485,000.
Yes.
485.
You're talking about the proposed
Very
budget?
first
Yeah.
The sewer
sewer
fee, very
fees.
top one.
where it says
Right.
420,
It should be 485.
it should be 485.
485 instead of 420?
The 420 was like an actual, like where we're at currently.
Yeah. I just transposed some numbers there. Everything else pretty on even there. And then, like I stated before, we have the salaries and wages, adding, moving employees around like that. So that's why there's a little bit increase plus the 3% as anticipated across the board, like we've discussed in the past. The let's see. Mostly stayed pretty consistent. Again, some increases in materials and supplies. Let's see. Lynette, do you remember on the capital improvements why we went on that one? The capital improvements to sewer system.
That, we wanted to budget a little bit more, just in case we ever have the wheel go out again, because we know that we had quoted it would be around 200,000. We also have, the sludge guys that are gonna be coming out and cleaning that out, and Robbie and I just wanted to be on the safe side to make sure that we had enough money in there to do the cleaning and the, I guess, maintenance and stuff to the sewer, so it never goes down. So we have had some issues out there lately again with it backing up.
And then the same thing on the last one with the insurance, like removing that particular line item out, because that's really, it was in there kind of twice. And then you have there's a sewer permit fees line item earlier in the expenses, and then there's also a permit fees line item. So they're the same thing, just in there twice. So removing that as well.
Does that go back to the front page there under
Yeah.
consulting engineers? Those are big numbers. Is that for the plans for the sewer plant?
Yeah, so the consulting, if you look, the same proposed for consulting engineer is up top in the revenue for the transfer from general operating. So it's the same. It's for everything associated with the water plant expansion.
David,
So
those are the bond funds.
Yeah.
From the year before that so that was what we just bid. So it's just an offset, but it's a professional fees for what we're doing.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Jack's tired. He's been up since 1 o'clock.
Oh, good. It's we.
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 Well, y'all were up at 1, not me.
We. It's all of us together. We all do everything together. So
You said the sewer impact fee and the sewer fees are the same?
So the sewer impact fee is correct at that 200, and probably could even go up a little bit more in all honesty, given what we're already at 295 for the year. But we are being a little conservative with that 200. The first one, which is sewer fees, it should be up at 485. So those are two different, but yeah.
bueno. Anything else on that one, council? All right.
So next one, which is new from what y'all have not seen thus far, but this is your two debt service funds with the two different bonds that we have. So this is just showing the bond payments for the year. So, and these are always as separate funds there. So that's on that next page. And this is just following the amortization schedule that we have on those particular bonds. So.
Cool.
Just because we have it now, just wanted to make sure you had it in front of you. So.
Bueno, bueno.
If there's nothing on that one, then so the next is all of the other kind of general fund, which has at the top the administration portion. And so the two things to start off on that particular one, you have the tax collect. So first, I'll start with the ADV. We talked about using the formula we had looked at before. Is that 1,086,000, and that's under the current scenario of keeping the tax rate the same. Obviously, we have not gotten those final numbers from the taxing entities yet. That'll be at the end of the month, so we'll kind of see where that was in line with that, and then adjust as necessary, obviously. The tax collections delinquent and the penalty and interest. We've had a lot of internal conversation, Lynette and I, as well as with our auditors, and it really just doesn't make a lot of sense the way we have it now. So to have those as separate line items, so it really all would go under ad valorem. And so that's why those are being removed. So whereas we had budgeted the 10 for each of those going forward previously, it would all fit under ad valorem. So it all goes under there. Let's see. Obviously, we kept hotel motel the same. We increased franchise tax a little bit. Sales tax, we did keep the same. Anticipating the new gas station, we probably could go up a little bit, but we being conservative and keeping it at where it was. Obviously, if council wants to go up, we can definitely do that. So the bond revenue there, removing that was the offset for the streets portion. So that's why that's being out as that project is completed. There was the line item for permits and miscellaneous permits. And obviously, as you see, there's very little in that miscellaneous permits. So we're just reclassing that to permits and all putting it under one. So removing that particular miscellaneous permit line item. And then just some small increases to beer and wine, beverage, obviously the same on the opioid, a little bit increase on garbage collection. We're obviously gaining more clients, as far as garbage is concerned, as more people come online. So we're just trying to estimate some of that out. And the interest on the CD, just because of where we broke up the different CDs that we have into individual departments based on what they were for, that's why that's decreased, because it should be more in line with where that is with everything. Rental fees. So some of these items, and this is where you start getting into some of these, and you'll even see on the net as we go through, some of these items are actually listed in what you've already seen it for, like community center. But it was as this showed up on this particular line. So we're just kind of moving them around a bit. So that's why that one's highlighted. So if you pull the community center one, it matches that over there. And then the 3% card collection fee, when we changed out everything with the credit card, that all went away. So we don't have that anymore, so that's why that is removed. Is that
But
correct?
we do have a credit card fee, but the
Yeah.
way yeah, you made it sound like it's fair. We still pay the residents still pay the fee. It's just absorbed into the billing that goes into Chase.
Yeah.
So they don't track it. They're just giving one, they reduce it out of what's owed. Or what, I'm sorry, not what's owed, what is, what's transferred over.
And then that would be the same for the next yellow item on the second page of that, is the Elevon card fees, since we're no longer under that system.
Hey, just for clarification,
Yeah.
so in the front page where we talk about the beer and wine license and the beverage tax
Yes.
revenue, the license is just them having the opportunity to do it, right?
That's correct.
That's coming in and filing it with Paula and with TABC.
And that's once a year they come in and do that?
That's correct.
I don't know that. I think when they get it, they don't have to come back and renew it, do they? Yeah.
Okay, so that's based on the license. Then what we get as part of their sales, is that the beverage tax revenue?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the comptroller sends that over every month. So it can be anywhere between $250 all the way up to $500, depending on how much is sold.
Okay.
Does that include the off-the-shelf sales at HEB?
I honestly can't answer that. I don't.
No,
I don't think
that's
so. I think
different.
it's just
This
service.
for restaurants and bars
Yeah,
and
this
things?
is like for sale for
I think it's
consumption on
Yeah.
Okay.
premise.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think you have. So we're saying 900, like for this current year, 963.24, that's what was generated?
That's not,
No,
that's not
the current,
updated.
So I need 3 more months in there, so add about 400 per month. in there.
Okay.
So we're bringing in about I'd say about 385 on average, if you want to average the whole year, when I was looking at.
Okay.
But we just have the new one that just came in, so I'm expecting for it to raise up just a little bit. I can't think of his name, who bought Hank's place.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure we capture,
for sure.
we're getting that. Okay.
Yeah, so on the Elevon card fees, the same reason, removing that, since we've switched systems on that. Trying to think, see here.
What's the remodel of the city sign?
So that's been there. Lynette had said that, and maybe Matt can answer this. There was some maintenance.
There's supposed to be a yearly maintenance fee of 5,000. They have never, ever billed us. So
And I
we've always budgeted just to be on the safe. And
I
that was
told you,
Who-
it was
who's-
pay for just this.
Is this TxDOT?
No,
No,
Alamo
it's
Sign.
Alamo.
This one out here. the
I
marquee.
swore I read that.
Oh, the marquee?
Yeah, that 5,000 is for the yearly maintenance for that.
Now, I don't
but
know if
they've
it's
never-
maintenance if we call them,
No,
or,
it was like a service,
Can
kind of
can
all
we
in one maintenance.
can we put marquee, or can you label that?
so.
Label
that-
it
It
so,
was just for this sign right here.
yeah, label it
That-
as whatever.
Josie had that in there, and I just kind of overrode that she had that, but we can name it whatever you want. But I think the original remodel of the sign was for the monument, when you
No.
had
No, it was for,
No.
she called it a remodel for this.
Yeah.
For this one.
Yeah, it was for this one.
We'll put
What would you
marquee
like
on there
to
to make sure it's understood it's that one. But yeah, I guess
what do
they
you,
would have.
So this was a fee that we were, a fee for,
Maintaining.
I would have to go back and
maintenance of the
reread that
system.
contract, but I swear we were supposed to have a fee every year, and I
Yes.
never got a bill.
is that this,
So the company never really, they weren't the greatest.
is this the same, maybe for us to have access to the software to use it? No?
Software's free, we've already gotten that.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just- So like, I don't know if you noticed, I noticed it on night, there's 2 little LED lights in the sign that just glow red. So I would assume that 5,000 would cover some of it. I don't know, we didn't set that up, remember that was under the chamber, they coordinate up. So we'd have to go back to read exactly what the contract said. But it was supposed to be a 5,000 yearly maintenance fee for us to call the, hey, this, and then come out and do whatever the contract covered in maintenance. But they never
They've never
billed,
charged
and
us.
they never had trouble with the sign, so we just,
And nobody's ever come out.
we've never needed them.
After, and that's 5,000 per year?
I don't think I would have made it up in my head. I think I read it
Yeah, it was part of
somewhere,
that.
but I gotta find it. So And I think Brad has the contract. No,
Yeah, well,
we have it. It's
No,
gotta be-
we
have
It's
it.
gotta be here.
A maintenance fee, they come out as service contract, we
Service
call.
it, yeah.
5,000.
So I've left it there just in case I get an invoice. Okay?
I mean, at some point, we'll probably have to call them to fix
But the bulbs are
Yeah.
gonna, yeah, the bulbs are gonna wear out eventually.
budget for it if you don't need
I
it.
know the guy very well.
Yeah, well, you actually will have the money there to be able to pay for the services, maybe,
Yeah.
so.
So are you just moving that ahead every year? Just, it was allocated
I'm
and
just-
just stays there?
It just stays that, I mean, that 5,000,
I
we're
know I
just
put it
budgeting
there
every
for a
year.
reason.
Okay, so it's never spent. It hadn't been spent, but we're not adding to it. We're not putting another 5,000 in every year, right?
No,
Okay.
no
No.
rolling it.
Okay. Well, if we keep adding it after 10 years, based on what I remember, we can buy a new one.
I don't know, it might be.
No, it was 60,000. That one was 62,000,
Well,
and then I can't remember.
That's
we
what I'm
had
saying.
Couple
something,
years,
it
it
was
doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Buy more, different facilities.
a bigger one.
I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the insurance one, removing that, just like we've talked about on the others, that's obviously should be elsewhere listed. I didn't have anything on the telephone. I need to plug that in, so I'll make that. But obviously, definitely under the 27.5 that we're.
So
Correct.
every phone, I can just tell y'all, since I know, every phone costs about $30 after everything with tax, the 8x8 and all the fees. So it's per unit of around $30 per phone. So our telephone bill dropped, what, by 85%?
It's quite a lot.
We're paying that much for AT&T
It was.
per line?
What?
You said per line.
We're-
So each phone you're saying is currently at around
So our
30.
bill comes in about $600. I think PD has 8 phones. 10
So,
phones.
yeah, so what I was asking
We have
is
6,
that in AT&T, we're paying way more than that.
A lot more, sir.
Yeah.
There's gotta be-
Well, it was the
A lot. more.
part of that, I think, and
We were
correct me if
paying
I'm wrong,
right
that
at
was
$8,000 a
internet
month.
and phone in that.
It was internet and phone,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
So
bad.
Rise will be part of that, but even our Rise bill that's coming in, it's coming out to anywhere between 800 to 1,500 per area. And we have Rise billing per, like PD gets their own and animal control gets their own and stuff. So it's working where we can track it a lot easier.
Remember, like at the PD, for instance, we had 3 phone lines at AT&T. We now have 1. Because we're leveraging technology to do it. And it's
Yeah.
so much nicer to answer your cell phone around the field and pick calls. It's nice.
Now, we're gonna save some money from this point on. It'll make a big difference. And the only test is just gonna be the reliability, see if there's any issues as we actually go through this, but
Yeah.
it can't be any worse.
I think the bill went from 7,000, well, that was with AT&T, but the
So,
15.6, so we probably went, I would say half. after with the
At
Rise.
least half
At least half.
cost.
Yeah, because if I tie in the AT&T internet and phone, but the phones itself, what I paid today was $568.
I won't say the name of a business, but there's a business that has a pharmacy and phone has been down for about a week and a half.
I know.
So it doesn't help their customers and the doctors and everybody else that is trying to take care of the patients. So
I'm gonna go give them one of our Rise phones. and
So it might-
plug it in here.
be different changes around the community.
The economic development fees and the grant consulting, if you notice, there's the difference there. So it was split between 2 different items. So we just put it under one line item instead of 2 different ones.
Which ones are that?
So the economic development fees at
Okay.
and then if you go further down, almost second to the bottom, it was increased by 33,000 just to put it all under one line item.
Under the
So-
grants?
The only reason we did that is the year when Matt brought them in, we didn't really do a budget adjustment, so we just split those fees. So that 66,000 that we're paying to EMC, him and I had split it out between 33 and 33 to make 66. So now we're just combining it.
Going from 2 line items to 1 line item.
It's
basically.
Okay. But how about our memberships that we pay for being part of groups for economic development? Are you just going to
So
put
none
them
of
in?
that was out of that particular fee, because that was all, that 33 is the EMC
Are you
money.
talking about Go Medina and the rest of
And a
them?
few other ones?
Yeah,
So
I would
where are
say-
you going to track them in here?
I put that into dues and
It's
subscriptions.
dues and subscriptions, yeah.
Okay. And you increase them to cover their costs?
For Go Medina, for your ACOG and all that, yes, sir. Just
Okay.
whatever mirrored the last 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Have we accounted for some of the additional expenditures that we have with EMS on trying to fix some stuff? They have some open items.
So last year, when we did the budget, we went ahead and put extra in there because we knew there was gonna be stuff. If I remember right, we knew the door had to be fixed and all that, so we're not over budget on that. But when I did talk to Ross and them the other day, there's not a whole lot going on except for the air conditioner, which Bill has talked about. He said it will be replacing, but he thinks it'll last for another 2 years.
There was there was a list besides that. We got a nice little list from the judge.
From the judge.
Everything on that list was repaired, with the exception that they wanted to increase the size of their restroom. We had it all fixed. The front door could probably use to be flashing, I think.
Yeah, we were.
Or maybe like I said, they fixed the roll. The roll-up door was the weird way the sun was hitting the sensors. We had everything that they asked to be fixed was fixed that year, with the exception of maybe an overhang on the front. But we're still not sure that would fix it. And talking to the people because of the driving rain that they were getting was the issue. Not necessarily coming in; it was coming at an angle. And the other option was they requested a larger restroom, which would take some money.
How about the lighting? I remember the judge asking about the lighting in there.
The body went over there and fixed all that.
Yeah.
We put it when we did all
Okay.
this. We
And
had-
then the only other one, what was it that they had there was some damaged ceiling tiles or something because of the drip pan?
I don't know.
Did we ever take care of that?
There was a ceiling. There was a hole in it that got repaired.
That got repaired.
Yeah. Everything that was on that list before I left got repaired, with the exception of the bathroom. And then I don't know how we fixed driving rain through the door, other than maybe just flashing and stuff on the door.
I mean, there's about, what was that, $800 left out of this particular budget that we haven't expended over there. And then we've put another 5 back in for, next year, basically, just to match what we already
Let's
had
see if
put
we can
in.
use some of that for the door.
Okay.
Maybe we can get somebody to come in and give us some recommendations.
It was a walkway door, not the main door.
Yeah. Just get an idea. That'd be good.
And then we also put up the big light, Ruben. I expensed that. We put up the double light because they had trouble cleaning the
The ambulance, yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed it. It's on the
Yeah.
one side.
And so I can't remember. I want to say that was almost 4,000 when he put that in.
Yeah, Ron, that was-
Yeah, right before you left.
Who's that?
That's Richard.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
got it.
it's okay. It's Richard.
Okay,
He
we're good, we're
he
good,
stepped
we're
out, came back,
We're good.
couldn't get back in the back door here. So.
Oh, it's all good.
Um,
Okay, well, thank you for taking care of that. Appreciate that. Just make sure we have funds to take care of the stuff that they have.
and then the rest just, Social Security removing, obviously, because it's listed elsewhere, the municipal judge moving over to court, or it's already reflected in court, so just removing it from here. And then all the street ones, which you'll see starting on second page and going to the third there, further down, those are all listed elsewhere.
You're moving them somewhere?
Well, so the streets budget was started.
So who came in over there?
He did, and then he went around. He went around instead of coming through here. He went
Oh,
on.
you went that way. I was like, I feel like, yeah, I know.
This
It's
is a test.
Casper, the friendly ghost. I mean, it's like, am I seeing things? It's like, come in one door, come out the other. I was like,
So all the streets line items were established for. I think the anticipation was the drainage work and the and the fund, that particular utility fund. And so as we move forward, we're going to have to build that out with Kimley Horn and Matt Garrett with their help and working on that as we move forward with the drainage. But that obviously, instead of being under the general fund, because it's a utility, would shift to the utility funds basically. So that's where all that would shift around.
Okay.
So that's why there's nothing listed in those at that time. So and then on that third page as well, you have the couple that are on there. Obviously, a slight increase that we're anticipating. I spoke with Waste Management. They told us to put about a 5% increase based on what they're seeing, but they don't think it's going to be that much. But we just wanted to put the top end just to cover ourselves conservatively. The stormwater utility expense, that's obviously the work that Kimley Horn and them are doing, and we don't think it'll extend past this fiscal year, so that's why that's listed as 0. And then the brush pickup, obviously maintaining that particular contract. So
Have they given us an indication it might go up or anything?
on the brush, no, I have not had that conversation. So I mean, once I do, if we're hearing that, then
Well, if we do if Waste Management is proposing, it'd be good just to look at everything together,
for sure.
because we use one to be able to cover the
Cover the
expense
other
of the other.
So I don't know if we had. Obviously we do have a brush contract.
Yeah,
I
but
just
I'm thinking, I don't know if it's yearly. Matt may remember if we did it, if Farrell was yearly,
I
Vector
want
was
to
yearly
say
or
probably
2
the
years.
last one we did, when we started changing with Jesse, they had 2 years and
Two
potential
years.
auto
I
renewals,
want to
so we
say
probably need to
2,
still look at that
yeah.
contract.
I think
Jesse
it
started to
was
change a lot of those at the end.
we'll take a look at it.
And then he renewed it right before Matt left.
I'm just saying if there's an idea of him based on the services to go up, it's better to get the data right now and incorporate it right
But I
now
think it's a 2 year. I
versus
don't
we
think
pass
every
it and then
Vector-
it comes back and then we have to deal with it, because I want to say it was in the fall, the renewal.
I think it was a 2 year, and he did it right before Zach got here.
We'll look at it.
I
We'll see.
think.
So then the next one, unless there's any questions on that one.
Council?
Yeah, the Chambers of Commerce hasn't come to us and made any accusations as far as continuing the tourist promotions.
Yeah, the 35,000, I think it is. That's
Well,
in
it was
there.
11. Where we're paying partial of
The employee?
the agent
No,
for the
no,
tourists.
it was 35,000 in total.
Oh, was it 30?
Yeah.
Was that our
Right.
part?
35
So
in total.
The contract we broke it out, but it also very specifically says it's also other stuff in there.
Right.
Now, the renewal and the rough draft is, on our desk. We are reviewing it. But no, it was 11 for that, but then there was other stuff that were taken in there within the operating fees of that.
And that still has to come before council to reapprove?
It's sitting on Zach's
Yeah,
desk
it's
right
on- we're
now. I just
reviewing
did
it.
the rough draft. He's gonna review it, go through legal with them, and then we will go through it
Okay.
again. It
Yeah.
should be in here
So
shortly.
we'll look forward to that.
Okay. Next, so again, some of these are just going to be just so you have in front of you. There was no changes on animal control, care and control. It was the only changes that you'll see if you look back at when we met previously is that some of the physical activity numbers have been updated. And so I just wanted you to have those in front of you, but no change as far as proposed budget from the last time y'all saw it.
What about headcount? Are we just reorganizing everything and filling spots that we've lost and so forth?
Yeah,
Well, this is
so
headcount, right?
yeah, employee wise, yeah. So we currently have the full-time ACO position posted, and we've received one application for that. And then we filled the part-time here recently again. So we're just missing that full-time
So
officer.
no additional headcount?
No. Community center, I'm not sure if y'all saw last time or not. I don't think y'all did. And so we can go through that. Obviously, we showed the rental fees, a slight increase of like 5,000, or no, I'm sorry, not an increase there. So 30,000 still. And then that transfer in from the cash bank CD, that's just the CD and everything that we have over there. So, and then if you go down to the expenses, you'll see that same number reflected, which has been previously reflected the same in that professional attorney engineer fees for the community center. So that same amount is reflected there. We are proposing an increase to the community events. I know it says community center, but I mean, really, that's where everything is expended out for any of the 4th of July, for Easter, any of the community events that we're doing. And so 20 is not an accurate picture to what we are actually spending, obviously, as you can see. So that's why we're looking at the.
This is just a community center, right?
That's community
It's
events.
Community
Community
events.
So, yeah,
That's the
all
only
community
line item that we have for all community events. I know it says community events, community center, but it is community events.
So Paula has actually
So-
asked that I give her specific line items so she can track her costs better. It is something.
So this includes a park, includes the community
July,
center, it
everything.
includes everything in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that would be separate is the senior activities. So anything related to that,
Yeah.
the senior stuff is a separate line item, but any of the other stuff has always been expended out of that one particular line item.
What is the rental fee for the community center?
Well, the rental fees are dependent on,
What is?
well, like what's being, if they need additional things, I mean, there's a whole list of fees associated with
So you
renting the
want
community
kitchen,
center.
You get the kitchen, you want the restrooms, you get the restrooms like that?
No,
No.
Based on the number of people.
no, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's based on what you're
What you're
looking
doing.
to do over there is going to drive what costs you're going to pay for over there.
If
So
you can have Richard Hughes DJ, then that's one price. If you can have a live.
if you're going to have
band,
alcohol,
That's another price.
so
The,
Yeah, and then don't we have different charges depending if we're a resident?
No.
we do.
So there's also
We do, right.
difference in the sense of your
Outside people.
Yeah.
outside people.
Yeah.
So there's different fees that go along with that.
Yeah.
that the CDs,
Mhm.
so that's money that's available. Are we,
Yeah. So my hope is there's some work that needs to happen.
that's my question.
And I don't think we've really had the opportunity to sit down and start that process. So I think it's time, right? I mean, it's starting to show its wear and tear. And we know there's some big ticket items that need to, foundation specifically,
Right.
that need to be taken care of.
So that money is available for that.
it is available. And my hope is to really tackle that this next.
So
fiscal
that
year.
159 that's in there is the one Jura CD from last year.
Hmm.
So we had put it in there in hopes for the flooring, because as you know, the flooring was buckled. We never got around to it, but just that 159, and anything, of course, over $20,000 will have to go into engineering, because we know it's going to be more than that. So we were kind of looking, and that's why it's offset in there.
Yeah,
for
I
the
see that
professional.
line item there too, is 159.
But that has been on the books, for two budgets now?
Well, I could tell you,
Oh, wow.
bullshit, when I was in, I had to come out and inspect it, and we're 2 inches lower on the tree side, because they're sucking all the moisture out, and that's why we got all the issues, but they estimate somewhere around, $80,000 to fix just the foundation. And then once we do that, then we need to go onto the roof, which I had a roofing company come out and look where they could do a coating. I'd have to go back and look, but that was another 10 or 15, something. I don't remember exactly, but then we got that fixed. Then we can go on. But yeah, it was neglected for a number of years. These aren't problems that just happened years ago.
Yeah, we gotta take care of everything. The floor would kind of be the last thing to do.
Yeah.
Once we take care of all the stuff, because there's some wall repair and everything, make sure we do all that stuff, and
Yeah.
then
And we just want to take care of the asset we have, and it's used a lot more, I think, than it probably
Oh, a
ever
lot
has
more.
been. And so we
it's a lot
really
more.
need to start making sure that people are
which is good.
wanting to be. Yeah, for sure. So
Fix the back door.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, those doors. So community center includes the annex.
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll see in there some of those, like the repair and maintenance, do call out annex buildings, some of those, but, it's kind of interchangeably used throughout there. So, but all in all, pretty standard as far as those line items are concerned in the community center. All right, so new one, breaking out. If you recall in the admin one that I showed a little bit ago, one of the line items moving, even though it'll still be a general fund account, moving out and actually calling out city council specifically. So one, and really the supplies associated with running the meetings and everything like that for y'all. So that's where that first line item is. No increase or decrease to that, just keeping that pretty standard in line with where we think. However, the second one is what I've coined it council allowance. We can change it to whatever you want because at this point it's just up in the air. It's been proposed to look at paying the council $100 a month is where we're starting with that number. So that proposal has come before me, and so I've put that in front of y'all for consideration. And so that's where that 6,000 that would only include the alderman and not the mayor. And so that's just the individual council members in the districts.
We'll get a little closer to what San Antonio's gonna be.
So one thing I've also been asked, but I did want to at least throw this out there now. Next time we meet, I'll make sure to have some comparisons as well, just so you can see where that $100 is in line. But I at least wanted to initially get it in front of y'all and just start talking about it, kick it around in your heads a little bit and see where we go from there. So the one thing I will note, and again, we'll talk about it more as we go through if this is to be considered, that we would have to, because you'd be getting an amount required for tax purposes, we would have to give 1099s at the end of the year to y'all. So that's just something to note.
That
So.
includes health insurance.
Off the top of your head,
Yeah.
Zach, a city our size.
Yeah.
Do the majority of them give some sort of stipend and
It just kind of
do
depends.
most not? Or
It does. It really kind of depends. I would say it's more of a trend here in the last few years to see it more than you don't. So I do know, and again, I'll get you the breakdown of where some of the area cities are, but I will tell you pretty much everybody around us is charging, or giving something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the amount that we were looking at is actually a lot lower than some of the others.
Yes.
But I think it would be a good initial
starting point.
initial
Sure.
step, and at the same time, just being conservative and try to do that. I do want to say this. I'll make sure that you guys understand. Okay. Do not want to put anything with the mayor. Okay, this is for the council. The mayor, if it ever happens, it'll be after I'm done. It's the right thing to do. Okay, so right now we feel that it's important to take care of the council. You guys spend a lot of time, put a little bit of extra, so it'd be good to go ahead and at least help out in some ways. And that's what some of the other communities are doing as a way to say thank you for the hours that you dedicate to the city, and here's something that we're going to go ahead and provide to try to do
This
that.
is only for consideration.
This is only for consideration.
And that item is 6. That item is 6.
Yeah. So it's $100 a month for obviously the 5 council members, which would take it to the $6,000. So
Because
for the
I
year.
mean, I would see money better spent if we look at it, the AV stuff that we have, improve our audio video, TVs. I mean, because the council could benefit from that as well. Seeing presentations, laptops for those that don't have them. To me, anyway, that's a discussion. for
Yep,
later.
that'll be a different discussion. We're just going to put it in the budget. I think it's important for us to start thinking about stuff like that.
All right. Library is the next one. Again, with this one, just updated physical activities. However, there was a slight decrease given the conversation we had last time regarding the ADT for the technology expense. So decreasing that about $500 out of that. So that's the only difference other than the updated physical activity that you would see if you were looking at this one compared
Where's
to
that?
the last
Where's
time.
that at?
Second from the bottom on the
For
first
technology
page.
expense?
Yeah, just decreasing. Oh, you know what? I increased. I meant to decrease. Sorry, I'll update that. So it'd go down to 3,000 instead of 4,000. Apologize.
So that's 3,000 for the ADT?
No, so that technology expense has some other things within that. But if you recall, Cassandra had asked to that we needed to upgrade the ADT, so we were increasing the proposed budget by about 500, give or take. And so, but after the conversation that council had, it sounded like, hey, there's probably better options out there than that. And so, we're just decreasing that back down is all that is. But I went increase instead of decrease, so I'll update that in the one you have.
So how much are we paying them a year for the ADT?
ADT runs $97 a month for her. It depends. Some of the renewal fees, it can go up to $200 a month. She has it every 6 months, they do a renewal fee. So if we average that in, probably 2,468, we're at 2,400 a year.
I would definitely look at options.
Yeah. Well, and that's what council had
1,800.
said last time, so we definitely wanted to adjust that accordingly.
We got Wi-Fi there. There's other things. You can put something with cameras, detectors. So you can be able to see inside the library with a camera that comes with it. I think we need to save on that.
And if you recall that one, the reason there was an increase there was because the panel, I guess, is obsolete. That they have, because that's what they like to do. You know, to upcharge you and get you to change it out. So that's where that increase was coming from. And after, again, the conversation last time, we'll look to decrease that back down and look for some other options that I think are probably better warranted. So
That'd be good. You might be able to do 2 or 3 facilities for the price we're paying for a year.
very well good.
You know, you can have Daniel. He can be looking at the doggies all night. You know,
Already on it.
he's already on it.
Yeah, we do have one over there, a security system.
How much will you pay over there?
I don't know.
That one is, we don't know. Actually, what I did, I got the Roku. I went out and paid for that. So actually, it's on the actual work cell phone, so you can actually look at. We have inside, you can see everyone that comes inside, and inside the kennel itself. So,
You're not paying anything. So
No,
you just
those
use
are-
it up through Wi-Fi, and then if something moves, it automatically turns your phone on.
Yeah.
I have it for the house too. So if something moves, my phone alerts me. I think Matt has it too.
I'm just saying, let's look at options.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
so they got two, they're cheap for like $30
Yeah.
at Walmart, and you just hook them up and they go off of Wi-Fi. And you can run the whole thing from your phone. And get
There's
it.
no charge.
You can see the little child walking in the background. The ghosts.
You said last time you wanted to see the
ghosts.
ghosts that are around
That's
here.
the
so-
line.
Well, there a little while ago, I thought I was seeing one. I was like, where did he go? It was like, what the heck?
Yes,
Just look at options, okay?
100%.
And it'll be a lot more efficient and probably a lot
Yes,
better in the sense of the user.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
Municipal court, again, just updated physical on this. And then I think last time I really didn't put in some of the proposed revenues at that point. But obviously we're trending higher with some of those than what we currently budgeted. And we think that's pretty in line there. But everything else is the same from the last time that you saw it. Other than, as you know, we did increase the municipal judge expense from 26 to 30 with his contract that we recently approved. So a 4,000 increase there. But everything else is the same.
Okay.
And then just some of the expenses, like the that have to go for Omni fees and all those kind of things, obviously are increased. If we're increasing the amount that we're taking in, obviously there's going to be some additional increase
That we
on
have to pay
expenses.
out.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
pretty simple there. And then moving on to parks, again, same here, just updated physical numbers. No difference in what y'all saw last time.
Can we go back to the
Yes, sir.
court?
What you got?
So is that total, the 72,000, that's both the clerks and the judge on the salary and wages?
No, sir.
That's the 2 court clerks.
That's the 2 clerks. Okay. Okay.
Plus
Got
the 3% proposed increase.
So that's a separate one where we have,
So on the very
Judge
Judge.
is the very bottom
Yeah.
one.
he's the 30,000 at the bottom.
okay. Sorry.
So
I was
he-
just,
Yeah, he's more of a contract, so he wouldn't be included in the salary and wages anymore.
okay.
So we're breaking him out just based upon the conversation we had with the auditors.
We still have an associate judge.
So we do have in there, and there's more internal conversation happening.
Okay,
on
okay.
that.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that our guys know on
Yes.
weekends who we call.
Yeah. There'll be more conversation of that, but yes, that particular expense for the associate judge has not changed on there. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry.
yes. Yeah, no, you're good. That's what we're here for. Again, parks, no changes from the last time you saw it, just some updated physical activity numbers, and on what we've done for the year. So
Where's our contractor at?
our contractor comes for the parks out of the
Are you talking about the lawn guy?
the lawn. Yes.
Okay, so the lawn is broken up, so that goes into repairs and maintenance. So the park over here, depending if it's or I keep wanting to say Cortez, I don't know, Coal Mine, or if it's here. So Coal Mine runs about $200.
Oh, okay, so it's separated out.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. So, yeah, because we have it here. So on the bill, it's 2,275, and then what we call split it out.
Okay.
But line item wise, it's under that 20,000 down there. That more accurate picture of what's happening.
My only question on that was Zach, is it we have the, I can't think of his name, Gerald doing the electrical stuff. Our electricity may go up a little bit here shortly.
I think we'll be all right.
I think he's just putting plug-ins, so he's not
Yes.
making more lights up.
Correct at this point.
Yeah, right.
Gas, oil, equipment, vehicle. Okay.
And then I will let Matt come up for some of the changes they've made on PD side. But the one thing I will say on the PD one, on the 2 that are in yellow on the under the revenue portion, and speaking with Lynette, these really, the way that they're expended really should be moved to restricted funds because they can only be used for certain things within PD for training and things like that. So it really doesn't make sense to have them reflected here. So that's why those are highlighted in yellow.
So before Matt, it just triggered because I thought of one officer
Okay.
that is going to be retiring, but I'm also thinking of other people too. Do we have in the different accounts, do we have something built in where we're capturing in case somebody retires and we have to pay the money towards
For the
the
160, I get right. So if you retire, if you do the retirement age or 20 years, 62 or 20, then you can expend 160 hours of your sick time and take up your banking on what you can bank into your carryover for your vacation. So that has not been figured in. That's something that's on my list that we were going to talk about here shortly.
I'm
But
just saying, if we know,
but we're getting down. I've got 3 that could possibly retire. Almost everybody else is pretty well, not really. The PD is halfway there. I've got 3 over there that could retire,
So
and everybody else is
it's
pretty
not
much-
it's not built in, and the reason it's not, and for the very reason we changed the vacation policy around, is because it is almost virtually impossible. I mean, you can somewhat anticipate if they may retire, but for cities, it's virtually impossible to tell when someone's going to retire, right?
no, it's true.
And
It's
so that's why we switched the vacation stuff around for that, very reason of, making sure that liability that is, on our books doesn't happen. And so the same is obviously for the retirees.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
have
just
that.
thinking some of the other departments, have some eligible, like you said, there's some people that are eligible. I'm just saying,
We need to be able to.
it might be good to
240
kind of
hours.
think of being able to put a little bit aside. So we know it's going to affect us whenever it does happen, but you
Yeah.
have something there versus we don't have anything built into a budget
For sure.
for something like that.
Yeah.
And then
we
we
can
have to
definitely
go
look
out and
and see
find
that.
it, and you have to go take it out of somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So food for thought.
Yeah, no, that's a,
So what extra monies are we talking about?
This
well, so
is
if they
unused.
retire, if someone retires, right? Like say Matt comes in tomorrow and says I'm retiring, fills in his paperwork. We, according to our personnel policy, we have to pay him out 160 hours of sick.
Right, but when you
And
look at
then-
the line item for wages and salaries, that includes the money that includes the hours they're gonna accrue at vacation. So I'm no bookkeeper, but that's already been allocated.
No,
We may not have saved it, but it's allocated.
so.
Because the salary includes your
It
vacation.
includes their vacation, but this is beyond, this is the whole carryover. So it would be, say, if
But
I'm
it's
just
already
saying an
money
example.
taken out of previous,
No, so
Yes,
Matt
it
may
has
take
to
2
be.
weeks a year, 4 weeks a year, but so he would take that through the year, but say he took that whole 4 weeks and then came at the end of that fiscal and said, okay, I'm gonna retire here in December, I
right?
would still have to pay him his.
Whatever's banked.
Yes, his bank.
Yeah, but
and the
that's
ones
money
that-
that's already been allocated in previous budgets. And see, that's always been the biggest thing on payroll, is because somebody may accrue vacation time at, say, $10 an hour, but when they take it, they're taking it at $20 an hour.
Right,
So that money that we're talking about, vacation has already been taken out on the budget. We may not have saved it because it
So,
wasn't
I
used,
know
but that
you-
money's already been earmarked.
right. So you can't really do a carryover on a budget that was in negative on the past.
Right, and you can't do a
6 or 7
carryover
years.
on vacation unused. That's already been allocated, so that needs to be in some kind of fund where, when it does get used.
Right. Well, we don't have that kind of separate fund.
I
That
know.
cost is not being captured in these current budgets. So the problem is that they do that and all of a sudden I just did it in my head. We're having to pay out $14,000.
Yeah.
I've got to come up with that money and expense it somewhere in here. It's going to reflect in that current
Right,
year.
but realizing that money's already been earmarked and that money was already approved in previous budgets. So that vacation time
I
that was,
can't say it's been previously approved though, because.
yes, it
that-
is, because if you're an employee here and you have a salary of X number of dollars and you have 40 hours of vacation, that's included in your salary.
No, but we have a bank rollover. You can only roll
Right.
over a max amount.
Right, but
So
that's
you-
already earmarked money.
So the easiest way to fix that, what we've done in the PD in the past, I retire tomorrow. Potentially what they would have to do is hold my position as open because my salary, what's already budgeted in salary, I still need 25,000 of that to pay me out.
Correct.
So
And
I
that's-
would not fill that position for X number of months until we got to that point.
Yeah.
Then, okay, now you can fill this position.
Yeah, now that part makes sense.
You have to
because
work
you
short,
haven't,
yes. It's
you
maybe
haven't
not the
done
best,
that part yet.
but if you have somebody key, like.
Then you're paying overtime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are then filling in.
Well,
So
potentially, you gotta.
But then we're short, because that's kind of like what we did with Frank, and we did that with,
So let's
But
do
we've never
this.
been over.
So
We've
let's
never-
let's
so
do
it-
this. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and continue with this. But it is something that we need to look at and understand a little bit more and be able to do that because it does require, as you can tell, we got different points, we got different solutions of being able to do that, but we just need to make sure that when we're looking that we have the pot of money to be able to minimize the effect on our budget.
I agree with that.
That's what it boils
Especially
down
if you
to.
keep a department head that leaves, you obviously don't want to leave a department head position open.
Yeah, exactly.
A low level position you could potentially leave open.
Okay, Matt,
I'll let
there we
Matt-
go. Sorry about that. It just triggered.
No, you're right. We need to, we got to be able to show.
Opening kind of thing, and we can use it.
Yeah, I mean, vacation is a liability on the company.
Just changing like some of those items.
It's a big liability.
So when I
Yeah,
first came in,
Robin,
we were
Peter was
at
in pay, but we
$500,000.
need an additional 1,700.
Yeah, it was ugly.
It was 560 something thousand.
All right.
Okay, council, so, this is from Chief tonight, I'm here on his behalf, so you'll see there's 3 line items that are still open there that, I guess City Hall's working on, it's like salaries, workers' comp, phone costs, they'll get all those totaled in, but those are the ones we don't know. So Chief has gone through here and made some adjustments, for the most part, we've robbed from a line item to put into another line item to ultimately get to our goal we were looking at. The biggest one is moving under miscellaneous equipment, reducing that 4,500 down to 15,500, and moving some other numbers around on the second page there. The big key is we're looking at in next year buying a drone for the city. It'd be a 2-year contract at $9,200 a year, so that's a 2-year commitment we would have to budget for. But as you see in all these numbers in front of you, we've taken from other line items to help cover that cost. And in doing all that, we've cut down to where we just need an additional $1,700 from the general fund for us to make our budget balanced, if that makes sense. Of course, this is still adding the position, hopefully the 11th position moving forward and items like that. But there's no real big glaring numbers or anything to us. Big ticket items, we're looking at, like I said, doing the drone and potentially buying 2 e-bikes. So that way, if we're getting hit at night, we need to sneak around. We don't have to, as you heard, a patrol car pull up. I guarantee it's one of our patrolmen because I heard his brakes when he pulled in. Now we can sneak around on bicycles at night if need be.
Yeah, e-bikes are nice.
So we were looking at maybe like a UTV style vehicle, golf cart, but you get a lot of cops in there with big gear on. We don't always fit the best in those. So an e-bike is probably more of an option that we could use more year-round, deploy on bike patrol and stuff like that as well. So nothing real big or glaring.
It'll
I'll
save
answer any
Rich on
questions.
having to pedal.
So the increase.
No,
on-
we're still got to pedal. Though. Come on.
So Matt, the increase on the salaries and wages, that's the only increase because of the new
That's
position,
the new
right?
position and the 3%. Yes. Of course, that affects some of the other numbers when you get further down, like group or not group health life, but like Social Security and those. I mean, but that's in everybody's budget as you increase them. We looked at those.
Varies from cargo and such.
We did. The problem is if we want to be sneaky at night, that's still a motor that makes noise. So that's in the recent rash we had. Because I was a big fan on that. I borrowed my brothers during the music festival. And he was like, "We need one of these." The driver. Problem is, it's real loud too. We need something kind of stealthy.
The 9,200 includes licensing and certifications.
Everything, sir.
Nice.
100%. So in law enforcement drone, it's a little different, but this is a full out drone with thermal, everything. We can not only use this for, say, law enforcement purposes, but we have a crash on the interstate that we need to get photos from. We can fly the drone. We have a missing child. We had one before the Saddle Ridge went in. We had 3 or 4 missing kids one night in that field, and I remember me and David tracking through that field in the brush for hours on end, and DPS is helping. And then they were found clear across town in the field behind the school. But we could have flown a drone over that, searching for lost kids. There's a lot of things we can do. When we have these bailouts, we can now have a drone that fly over and search for them versus.
It doesn't include data storage though.
No, this is all stored here. This is through a vendor that everything's backed up to them.
Downloaded
The
local
report we're
report.
required to put on our website every month comes straight from them and uploads straight to our website.
And the drone's as easy as getting it out of the case and. getting
Yes,
it
sir. Yes, sir. They can. I don't know if that was Ryan. Ryan's done a lot of work, but I believe the drone can be launched within mere seconds.
So I'll be
How
able
long on the
to.
drone, how long to launch it? 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
So I'll be able to log into YouTube and watch the Lido.
No, you won't be able to watch that. But,
And I can borrow it?
but there's several, like myself, Officer Lopez, Officer Garcia. We all own drones. They're all DJI, which this is bigger, fancier version, you know, but same concept.
You
All
plan on training every officer in the
we haven't
city?
gone that far. We'll probably have 4 of us that are going to go through and get the
So
actual.
there's always someone close by.
That would be the concept, yes, sir. There will always be someone close by that if we need to, we could call out to fly the drone if they're not already on
Do
shift.
they need to be licensed?
Yes, sir. We'll have them licensed and do the Part 107, everything.
So they'll be available to other departments too.
Yes, sir. Like everything else we do. If another
Like
department
you have
calls
to do
out,
an inspect at the sewer plant and you have to do flyovers or something like that.
yeah, if something's going on in our sewer plant, we need to go. Yeah, let's go.
Perfect.
We'll take our drone out.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir. Is there any other questions? It's pretty simple.
You got that grant for weapons, right?
Radios.
Radios.
So
Well,
we don't know if we got. So a couple things I can touch on here because I got a call when I presented for the grants at ACOG. I sat next to ACOG's radio guy and chatted him up a little while. So we did get reduced when ACOG recommended funding to the Office of the Governor. When I spoke to the Office of the Governor, they called me and they were speaking back to the full amount. So we will see, hopefully, where that falls. And that would take us anywhere from 6 to 8 of these multi-band radios. And talking to the ACOG guy just the other day, he told me that if they get their grant, they're going to allocate an additional 10 radios to us. These will be the brand new APX Next radios that are not only antenna based, like here, point to point, but it'll also have air cards in them. So if I'm wherever and I need radio connectivity, I've got it as long as I got a cell signal. And that will be covered under their contract and their grant for 5 years and 7 years warranty.
Good deal.
Smart Connect. I mean, this is the latest of the greatest. So we're really lucky because that's about $225,000 if we can get these grants that the city won't have to worry about budgeting for. So we've done good when Officer Lopez got all the pistols for us, the new pistols for free by transferring in some old stuff. So we're trying to be frugal and get what we can on the big ticket items. Cars are harder. We have not heard anything from overtime. I've not heard anything from ACOG. It's still showing hold on there when I checked the other day on eGrants. So that'd be a nice one if we could get that one. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Council, anything else?
Nope.
Letta? Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Zach.
That's all I have. So, obviously, we just wanted to get the ones in front of you that you hadn't seen previously. We'll get those numbers updated and everything sent out electronically for y'all, so y'all have that. And then by the end of the month is when we anticipate, technically the taxing entities are required to get their final numbers and things out and done to us. So we'll obviously have a little bit better picture of where we're at, and start making some decisions from there. So.
Yeah.
Michael, we will, I will make sure we get the pie chart.
I didn't say nothing.
I will get you a pie chart.
I
I
don't
just need your preliminary.
I don't want us to, I think we all feel the same. I don't want us to miss an opportunity let me put it this way. I don't want us to consider any increases that we need to with taxation. Okay. But at the same time, we need to be cognitive that if the work requirement, if our budget for our departments to take care of them require us to go down that road, then we have to go down that road. Okay. But I don't want us to miss the opportunity for us to be able to have that chance to make that decision or miss out the opportunity, and then we're stuck. Well, we're going to have to wait until next year. That has happened in previous years in the city. And unfortunately, it's hit us hard. It has hit us in different departments where we didn't have the flexibility of what we needed to do. So please stay on top of getting the information and the data, be able to get in front of the council with plenty of time for council to make the decisions. I hope we never have to. Hopefully our generation and the money is going to be where it needs to be to cover. But if it does, we need to have that option to be able to go down that road if we need to in order for our city to be able to operate within its means. I think everybody has done a great job of being able to operate. I compare ourselves to other communities and others, and I can't tell you I think our city probably does it the best. I think we really take the time in saving the money that we need to and being frugal with what we have. But at a certain time, we do need to start making sure that we're looking in the future and we're investing right now and doing the things that need to be done. If not, it's going to cost us even more in the future. So just a little important thing, just help us out. I know the staff is, but let's make sure that we stay close to that timeline so the council can go ahead and make those critical decisions. Okay. Thank you, staff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So with that in mind, let's see, it is 7:47. I have a motion for us to adjourn.
Make the motion.
Okay, got a motion. Do I need a second? Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you so much. Great meeting.